Are you ready?
Starting now?
Now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
But
you're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And you know what? I just thought about it because I asked Mike if he was good before we started recording. So let's just replay that. So, Mike, are you good to go?
I don't know, man. Let me check. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks good to me.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm envisioning him checking his penis. So apparently his penis is in order. I just checked. Mine's in order too. I guess we're good to go.
Nice. All right. The equipment is set.
Right. Now we just got 4 dicks on the air. That's all.
Great.
Well, we always do, but now we
do. It's official.
we're just actually making a point of it. So, but so yeah, you know, obviously
pointing at something. Go ahead.
So yeah, just Mike and I again. Obviously this week we got
clearly.
Clearly, yeah. We didn't want to. Well, you know, we've done stuff like that with guests, so it's not like it's certainly not like we would be on our best behavior if we had a guest on, unless it was somebody.
This is our best behavior.
Well, and that's what I guess that's my
folks.
point. So, real quick here, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say anything bad, but we got a message. Got a message the other day, and this guy said, somebody that's not a follower of ours on Instagram, but obviously ran across our page and the podcast, and he's like, I'd like, and I forget the exact wording. It was nice. It was just, I would like to be able to, appear in your podcast. How would I go about doing that? He goes, I think it'd be good for me and my ministry. And I paused. And I looked and I checked out his page, and he's a God guy, which is fine. He's got a ministry and a lot of Jesus stuff in there. Again, cool. So I sent him a message back and I said, I appreciate the message, but I said I don't really think we're the right fit for what you're looking for. I said we're one of us I said Mike's an atheist, and I said I'm at best an agnostic. So I said I don't think we would serve your ministry the right way. Thank you very much.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
but I mean, I was nice about it. I was cool. It's great having people reach out, but and it's not even. I was going to say that we have standards, but it's not our standards. It's just a matter of for a second there, I'm like, this could be a really no, can't do it. No, because it's. Right. It's going to get ugly for somebody, and it's not going to be.
I mean, not necessarily, but. Right. I mean, if you had okay, I went to the mission in Sacramento at one point during my my travels, and it was a Christian ministry, but they had a program to help guys. Hell, I went to the Salvation Army twice, which is a church. And they have a rehab program. I mean, so if you had something like that going, it might be interesting. But just a rando guy with a funny collar, no thanks.
Right, and that's what it seemed like. But that's a good point. See, these are the reasons that see you get to kind of change my my head was going just down this one direction. I'm like,
Right.
this could be a messed up conversation, but that's true. I never thought about. And
Right.
there are a lot of groups out there that are Christian based that are helping out people that are
Sure.
addicts and alcoholics.
Absolutely.
So hey, let me step back a little bit. I apologize if I've offended any of the folk out there with that. I didn't mean
Oh,
that we
fuck
were.
them.
but, but I didn't mean that we were going to get nasty with him. I'm just saying the
No.
conversation could get a little weird and be weird for him,
Right.
probably not us. So,
Right. Oh yeah. It's not going to bother me at all.
right, right. So anyhow, so that was just kind of interesting. But um,
Yeah.
a couple of things too. So we'll just kind of do what if you want. There's a couple of things I wanted to kind of recap with the week. But so
Yeah.
this is like and I was just thinking about it earlier today. This is like the first full week, obviously since our mom passed.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. How did your week go? Was it weird? Was it, I don't want to say different. Was it weird at all? Like a first full week back or?
Well, not really. It was, doing the same things I'm supposed to do, and yeah, no, work was work, and yeah, not really.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
moments here and there, of course, but yeah, not nothing totally out of the ordinary. How about you?
Well, and I was just thinking about it. I mean, because Kathy and I went over to the weirdest part was going over to Mom's house a couple of
Yeah,
times,
I
and
bet.
that's a different story. So that's probably an unfair question. I didn't mean it that way, but
Right.
but it was weird in a sense. So a couple of different things is that so we went over there on Saturday.
Hmm.
And the first thought was we were going to get stuff out of the shed because we were going to have obviously the state sale and those sort of things coming up, which we met with those individuals today. We've got a
Uh-huh.
date already
Right.
set up to have that done in a few weeks. So that part was so we were over there today doing that for a little
Uh-huh.
bit, but then. Last weekend, we were going to clean out the shed, whatever. And long story short, didn't get to that. But then we're like, we should get all the anything that was personal items, get those out of the house. So
Hmm.
we went through medicine cabinets, make sure all medications, anything with their name on it.
Right.
We went through the computer room, which was, in some cases, I mean, kind of piles of paperwork that she just
Right.
wasn't really in. I'm going to say in the mood or in the condition to try to sit down and go through all that stuff.
Hmm.
But then she had two file cabinets which were very organized, but also very full. So we're like,
Hmm.
we got to get that stuff out of there. So, we pretty much spent the better part of a few hours going through and getting that stuff out. And again, going
Right.
through drawers and making sure we didn't have all that stuff. And Kathy had said, she's like, man, she goes, and she got upset one time. She's like, this is just
Hmm.
so, she goes, it's so weird. This is hard. She goes, I'm freaking out. She says, we're going through all of her stuff. And
Right.
she said it was she used the word intimate, which I do understand. And
Hmm.
I thought of it was just intrusive,
Right.
because, and it's not that, and our mom wasn't, well, it's not that she was closed down and don't touch any of my stuff, but,
Hmm.
I mean, we're going through all of her personal items.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And it's fucking weird. There's just no better
Yeah.
way to put it. And
Right.
we haven't had a chance to go through all the papers and all that stuff. And it's not like we found anything out of the ordinary that we were shocked
Hmm.
about or anything. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So well, I'll do my quick side note on that in a minute. Let me just
All
finish.
right.
Let me finish this thought first. But so Kathy's going through, and I'm in the computer room doing some stuff. She's in the bathroom that's right across the hall from there, and
Hmm.
she's like, God damn it, how many pairs of scissors did she need? And then she's like, and nail clippers. She's like, there's another pair of nail clippers. And then she comes in, she's like, want to think of chapstick? I'm like, no, because I use like medicated stuff. Mom used like the
Right.
basic stuff. I'm good.
Hmm.
But she's like, and another pair of scissors. She runs across another one. So I go out and I'm like, God, I wonder if anything is in the little table next to her chair in the living room. So I opened that
Hmm.
up. I found a couple of things that nothing big, but I just, again, we're trying to figure out personal things that
Right.
I yell out and I'm like, another pair of scissors.
Scissors.
And I'm like, yeah, there's a chapstick in here too.
Right.
And then I started up her car today because I had to move it back a little bit.
Hmm.
And I looked in the center console, another pair of scissors.
Wow.
And they're the little ones. She had just these little.
Travel scissors.
That's kind of what they were, that size, the little orange handles. But yeah, she had them.
Right.
She had them seriously everywhere, and then apparently nail clippers, and it was just kind of funny. But
So she liked to cut things.
Right. Cut things, manicure things, and then chapstick.
Right.
Then chapstick, yeah. So, but no, it was weird. And like I said, we went over there today just to meet with the people from the, from the for the estate sale. Got that all set up. So that was the biggest thing. It's just kind of it was I don't know. It's just that it was weird because it's like, okay, now we're just it got personal, and it's going to get personal, but it just
Right.
like Kathy went through all our dad's stuff. I didn't. Like once again,
Yeah.
we've established I was in no condition
Yeah, exactly.
to go
You
through.
weren't
all
any
this.
help to anybody.
Well, the only thing that I did do is, and after I was at the Keating Center, because it took a few months to get some of this stuff squared away, he had his link in there, and Kathy and I went out there to try to get it started. We set it
Right.
up for the for the guy that bought it and all that stuff. So I helped a little bit on that stuff, but that
All
was
right.
a month or so after all was said and done. But
Right.
so yeah, so that, like I said, that part was a little weird. But so back to my side note, when I said that we didn't find anything that was out of the ordinary or shocking. So you and I just want to make sure, you and I have agreed that if I go before you, okay, you are in your control of my phone
Right.
and all of my computers.
Right.
Well, you know what? Maybe go through. Well, I got that in my drawers. I was going to say maybe go through my.
I'm not going through your drawers.
I'm laying there on the floor, and you got your hands
Right.
down,
Yeah. Well,
hands down my pants. Somebody said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said,
Yeah.
"Go through his drawers."
Right. Yeah. Checking the equipment.
But yeah, I was going to say, you can check through my phone. I'm like, no, you're in charge of my phone, and you're in charge of my computer. So okay.
Right.
So I figured that one way or the other, nothing's going to shock you. Not that I have. I don't have like crazy shit on there, but it just
not to you.
right. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. You and I have shared some things that are on our phones, and I think you know what I'm talking about. So
Right.
just,
Yep.
but yeah, you'd probably just look back and you're like, yeah, he was kind of a sick fuck, wasn't he? Ooh, but
Yeah. Right.
but hey, yeah.
Let's see. Can I share this file to my phone? How do I do that? Damn it, Bill's dead. He can't help me with this. Fuck.
yeah, that would be fuck it. I was gonna Bill's the one that showed me how to transfer this
Right.
stuff. I don't know how to do that. No, but anyhow, so yeah, it was a weird week on that sort of thing, and kind of and Kathy was saying the same thing, that she was just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of moving through that whole thing. Oh, and I had to go. Did I tell you we had to get the death certificates redone?
No.
Yeah, well, they had her street address spelled wrong. Basically, transposed a couple of letters. So instead of the actual street name, it came out weird. And we didn't notice it right away. Then Kathy saw it, and then the attorney for the estate said, yeah, just get it corrected just in case. So that was a trip out there to drop them off, and then a trip out there again today to pick up the new ones, which, again, it's human error, but to begin with, I was kind of irritated. I did that on, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, I think I did that. But yeah, so we got that all set. So it's been, again, all these different things put in motion. And then, like I said, Jody and Johnny had offered to come out this weekend. I'm heading up to Appleton tomorrow to babysit for my grandson, which, once again, had technically been in place for a while, but either I forgot or Kimmy forgot or she didn't tell me or what. So yeah, I'm leaving at some ungodly time tomorrow morning, and then doing that.
Right.
But yeah, they're going to get a couple of things done at the house and go through some things. So yeah, again, just weird stuff. That's all.
Right.
Other than that, like you said, I'm still doing the same things every day, and things that I need to do, and that's been the quite honestly, and it's same thing when Larry passed. That's been the comfort through all this stuff. Having that. I don't even want to say fall back on, because we don't have to fall back on what we do every day, but having that as as our, I don't know, crutch, structure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And as raging alcoholics, we need that.
I just took a drink of coffee, almost made me spit that out. That's funny.
Nice. Perfect.
Raging alcoholic, I think, would be, I know that I have, and both of us have identified as that before. So, hey, I resemble that remark.
Absolutely.
So, and I know next week we're going to do, you're going to be in town, obviously, for Thanksgiving, which is cool. So we're going to do our our true gratitude episode. I
Hmm.
think next, well, whatever day we record, next Friday, whatever day it is, doesn't matter.
Right.
And then the other thing too, and I kind of prompted this on Instagram a little bit because I thought
Hmm.
I've got other like questions and things, and a couple of things I might want to bring up tonight. That again, this long list of things we've had for weeks,
Right.
but what about, since we're going into the holidays like that, do you think, even though we've talked about it before, just kind of have
Hmm.
just a brief discussion about maybe even just what we did that first year, because for anyone who doesn't know, both of us got sober in April. We
Right.
had, you know, Memorial Day, Fourth of July, all the summer activities, Labor Day.
Hmm.
My birthday was in that time frame. Then for me, football season, and then you get the typicals. You get Thanksgiving, you get Christmas, and you get New Year's. And
Right.
I
Hmm.
mean, we had a wonderful structure. There's that word again. Thank you.
Yep.
We had a wonderful structure in place, but we had good people. We were in a safe place. We were still within the sober living community, in the
Right.
3/4 house by the time Thanksgiving came around. But
Right.
but still, I mean, it's you figure that we were 8 months, well, no, seven
Right.
months sober at the time
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
Yeah.
hit, and then 8 by the time Christmas hit.
Hmm.
So it's pretty fucking young in this thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't remember what you did Thanksgiving that year. Do you? Because I mean, I know what I did, but do you remember Thanksgiving that year?
No. I mean, I'm sure. I seriously don't. I would imagine I went and did something with my daughter, but I don't know what the hell it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in that, and I know I told this story before, but that Thanksgiving and my family at the time, same now. I mean, everyone's hugely supportive and that
Hmm.
sort of thing. But it was Uncle John and Mom that had said that, okay, so for Thanksgiving we're going to make it alcohol free. And I
Right.
had told him, I'm like, because Kathy was coming out, and I know Kathy and Kylie were out there. I don't remember if well, yeah, Mark, yeah, were they still together? They were still together.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
had to
so
have been. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm sure. Well, you know what? I'm trying to think if Mark would have come out because he usually would. Either way, so we had family and John and Gail, and I know Johnny would have been down there. I think Jody probably would have been in
Hmm.
Boston, but and I had told them, I'm like, you don't need to do that, and they're like, nope, this is something that we want to do. It's
Right.
cool. And it was, Larry was still alive, and it was one of his favorite holidays, and it
Hmm.
was it was really nice. I was to begin with. I'm like, I don't really want or need people to do that for me, but
Hmm.
looking back on it, I did. I really appreciated the gesture.
Exactly. Right. Which is what it was. And I know, yeah, we try not to make other people uncomfortable and stuff, but sometimes we have to accept their gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and as we're talking about this right now, it kind of amazes me that at that time frame being so
Hmm.
new that I even thought about thinking that, well, I don't want you to do that for me, like you just said,
Right.
thinking of their gifts. And it was, I
Hmm.
didn't get mad about it. I was like, you really don't have to do that. And I didn't want to
Hmm.
make them uncomfortable or have me be
Right.
uncomfortable. It was just,
Right.
but yeah, just that, well, I guess I didn't realize that I had that was kind of a nice thought, that, that I,
Yeah.
that I was actually like, oh, that is kind of nice that they're doing that.
Yeah. Right.
But then, so I went there. I was with family. Obviously, I know I would have probably stayed down there for the weekend. No
Right.
issues whatsoever. But again, I was around, people that not only loved me, but because there's people in other families where their family loves them, but they're not necessarily supportive.
Sure.
So I had both. I had people that loved and cared about me, and actually were extremely supportive to the point of saying that, hey, in my entire family at that time, and all of them now, all of them drink with the exception of one,
Hmm.
but still, I mean, they were. It's not like it was huge drinkers or anything, or Thanksgiving was
Right.
that way. So, it was. I don't know that it was a huge. It was a great gesture, I guess, is the right
Right.
way to put it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't a massive sacrifice on their part, but it was something that they wanted to do for you.
Right, right. Which,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
now look at that. I'm getting kind of that. I'm getting like that warm and fuzzy feeling there. That's nice.
Mm.
That's just super nice.
Yeah.
So, Christmas that year, I know that the next year, I know you spent at least a portion of the time. I think with our family. Oops, your phone's buzzing up.
Is it?
Yeah, not a big deal, but
Yeah.
hopefully it'll clear up in a minute. Oh, there we go. So and just so everyone knows, Mike, you bought a Chromebook, didn't you?
I did.
So yeah, next week we're gonna try out get his Chromebook all fired up and ready to roll, and we've got an adapter for him. So we're gonna try to see if we can get him off his phone and see if it does. Not that you don't sound you're fine on there, but I think that
Right.
we'll eliminate like that. And once again, I know you don't hear it when it does that. It shows up on the
Right.
recording. Not bad. It went for about 4 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But so we'll eliminate that. Eliminate hopefully any just interference problems that that we were getting. So, but yeah,
Right.
we should be. You know what? We're going to be of super high fucking quality as of next week.
Right.
And that is the first lie of the episode.
Exactly.
The sound may be better. The shit that comes out of our
Yeah,
mouth.
it's gonna be this. It's gonna be the same old shit though.
Audio quality better. Same old
Yep.
shit. Different day.
Content the same.
Yeah, we can always promise that. So, but anyhow, so for Christmas that first year, same question.
Right.
Do you remember what you did for Christmas?
Oof. No, I really don't. I really don't. Again, probably, no, I seriously don't. We were at the sober house and, God damn, I don't. Not a damn thing.
When did Amber's mom come into town? Was she in town that first Christmas? Because she came
She
over.
had to, yeah, that I did have that thought. I think she was in town. So we probably went, I don't know where the hell we went. We went somewhere. But yeah, right, because we wouldn't have been there the second Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, so that was, yeah. So yeah, Sherry was in town, and we probably went to Amber and her boyfriend's place and did something, but I don't remember what.
But again, I mean, you were around people, safe, comfortable, and all that stuff, and
Right.
okay. And I think that, and once again, we're repeating this story for those who haven't heard it, but I think it's important because especially going into Christmas, there was two things that I ended up talking to my sponsor about, and the first one was our holiday party at work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, and I know what day it was. It was December 17th. The only reason I know that is because that was Mom and Larry's anniversary, and
Okay.
and it was going to be that Friday night, and it was also a weekend that I was going to work, so I had a half day on Friday, and then working half a day on Saturday. But apparently, what was supposed to happen was that anyone who wanted to could have got to work early, this and that, blah blah blah. If you weren't working, late, however it was, and then I just went home at noon and just showed up on Saturday morning. I'd like, because my sponsor said, he goes, that's your choice. He goes, with a work party like that, are you close to any people? Do you know anyone's sober there? And I'm like, I haven't been there long enough. I was there like three months,
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, you know what? He goes, if you're not comfortable, he said, don't go. And I didn't.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I heard people talking about these past Christmas parties, and and everything was provided, food and booze and all that stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
back in the day, that would have been awesome.
Oh yeah.
would have been fucking awesome. But
Yep.
so I didn't go, and then my manager came up to me on Monday. And she's like, oh, we didn't see you at the Christmas party. And I said, no. I said, it was my parents' anniversary. We, did a dinner for them, blah, 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 which was sort of true, sort of a lie, but fuck her.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
and then she's like, well, you weren't supposed to leave work early if you weren't going to the Christmas party. I'm like, it was my half day. And I was here on time on Saturday and worked my half day. And she's like, well, you didn't tell anyone you were doing that. I'm like, I didn't tell anyone that I was working my normal schedule.
Right.
And
Right.
and she was kind of a bitch, a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and I was
Sounds
just
like
like
it.
I blew it off, and in my head I'm like, it was like that close to going, what are you gonna fucking do? Write me up for doing my job?
Right. Yeah.
So that was the first one, and then Christmas, and same deal. Mom and Uncle John said the same thing, and we've talked about how Christmases used to be, and
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
honest to God, Christmas at John and Gail's was,
Hmm.
there's no better way to put it. It was a whole lot of fucking fun, and
Yep.
everyone let loose, and everyone drank, and we played charades,
Hmm.
and great food, and all this stuff. But it was, I mean, everyone probably drank to excess, more so
Hmm.
that night during Christmas than any other time of the year, the entire family. But
Right. Right.
here's the cool part though, and I hear about all these stories about families that, and you see the memes about, families getting all fucked up and messing things up and
Hmm.
fights.
Hmm. Right.
None of that ever happened.
No, no, no.
So they were going to go alcohol free for Christmas. I'm like, you can't.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like that you cannot. Well, we don't want you to be
Hmm.
uncomfortable. I said, Thanksgiving was cool because, like I just said, it was
Hmm.
wonderful, and like you said, a gift, a
Right.
great gesture. But I'm like,
Hmm.
you can't do that, and
Right.
so they didn't, and I had it all set up. Actually, mom was in the hospital. She had pneumonia at
That's
that
right.
year, so she didn't go. I took Larry and I took our grandma, and knowing that
Hmm.
grandma would have to leave by probably 10, I'm like, there's my out, because that's what my sponsor said.
Right.
And I think both of our sponsors had told us that we can
Hmm.
go once again, once we're spiritually fit, which I don't think I was at that point, quite honestly.
Right. Yeah.
But they said, well, not even the thing. I know I wasn't.
Right.
I was fucking 8 months sober at Christmas,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
always be able to leave and have a plan, when you're going to leave and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I did,
Yeah.
and I left, and it was wonderful. And I stopped by, and Mom told me not to stop by the hospital. I stopped by anyhow.
Hmm. Right.
And she's just like, I told you not to stop by. I'm like, don't care.
Right.
It's Christmas. You're in the hospital. I wanted to come by and see you. So,
Uh huh.
but the thing of it is that I guess probably the two main things is that even though you don't remember exactly what you did, I know for a fact you had a plan,
Oh yeah.
and you had a plan in case shit went weird, right? I mean, you had to have.
Right. Right. Well, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I wasn't worried about it, but yeah. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, I had a plan to get out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too that I mean I'm never I don't want to say never. I don't necessarily walk into a thing, that
Hmm.
involves alcohol.
Right.
I can't remember the last time that I walked into a thing that involved alcohol where I'm like, man, I can feel like this is going to go fucking weird, but I
Hmm.
have to be there anyhow, you know.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't had one of those yet, except for, I mean, the wild cards. Like if you go, I mean, you've been to all the different concerts. We went to the
Hmm.
concert with Lita Ford, which
Right.
once again it was you and I, so it wasn't a big deal. But
Yeah.
that's one of those times when it's something like that shit could go weird, that's outside
Yeah.
of our control.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, shit. I went and saw Wasp last Saturday.
Oh,
Um,
that's
Yeah.
right.
And I ended up going by myself. Chris wasn't all that interested in going, and I was going to go with Tony,
Right.
but he got stuck out on the road, so he didn't make it back in time.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I ended up going by myself. I actually ran into a drunk that I knew from the program there. We said hi. And hey, good to see you. Hadn't seen him in a while, and blah 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 blah. And so that was cool. So there was somebody else there. It was packed. It was sold out. It was, yeah, it was a lot of people doing a lot of dumb things, and I just watched them, and went, I'm glad that's not me today.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and Chris was talking about that when we were coming back from poker that night, that you had
Hmm.
tickets, and she was saying that she's like I don't know too much about that. But then yeah, I mean, it was either from you or on Facebook or through her or a combination of it that I
Hmm.
obviously heard that Tony was going to go with you. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Right. Yeah.
But so yeah, that sucks though that you got left out on the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
But
I know. Yeah, I was looking forward to hanging out with them, but we'll do it again.
right. Well, and
Yep.
I know for a fact. I mean, you've gone to a lot of concerts by yourself.
Hmm. Well, yeah, the best one was when I went to see Alice Cooper by myself when I was what, 4 or 5 months sober,
Right.
4 probably.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that one was weird. That one I was definitely uncomfortable at several moments during it, but I got through it.
Well, and the other thing too, and that is a story once again that we have talked about. But so whether
Right.
it's it's the same concept as I think it's the holidays though. But
Hmm.
going into that though, what did you do before you went to that concert though?
I mean, I talked to my sponsor. I talked to the guys in the house and stuff. Pretty much everybody was saying don't go. Um, I don't remember what my sponsor said one way or another. He must have. I think he said, are you going to handle it? You going to be all right? And I said, yeah. And he said, all right, well, go have fun then.
Right.
And I did. I did. I was right down front, and it was a great show. One of the better ones I've seen. Yeah, it was clearly guys at the house and stuff, and then I went back to the Keating Center when it was all over with.
Well, and that's the thing though, is that and that was the point that I wanted you to make though, is that you talked to everyone. I mean, most importantly, you
Yeah.
talked to your sponsor. You didn't just,
Hmm.
show up at a show
Right.
like that 4 months
Yeah.
sober, knowing there's going to be some shit going on,
Right.
with
Yeah.
no
And I
direction.
mean, and clearly, I let everybody know at the center, and I'd be back by whatever the hell it was, 10 o'clock, or my curfew, because I couldn't be trusted at that point. And not that I can now,
Right,
but yeah, I mean, I did what I was supposed to do and got back, and yeah, structure.
right.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that honestly, that's one of my favorite stories because I remember that actually being at the Keating Center, and you and I didn't know each
Hmm.
other that well at that
Right.
point. We knew each other, but not really, and
Yeah.
and I remember too, talking about that and people saying you shouldn't
Hmm.
go and basically saying you
Right.
were foolish, and I probably worse
Hmm.
shit than that for I don't
I'm
I
sure.
don't remember all of it, but I do remember feeling nervous about it because it would have made me nervous. But you and I talked about that too.
Hmm.
I mean, I was again that Blue Coupe show that we were supposed to go to. I was 3+ years
Right.
sober, and I finally would have been to the point where okay, I think I'm okay.
Hmm.
But again, different thing. You were comfortable there at that. Well, maybe not at that point, but you
Yeah.
but you
No.
you did it anyhow. Even if it wasn't the right. Looking back now, hindsight and everything, if it wasn't the right
Hmm.
time, you did all the right things, and you
Right.
were you were completely open about it and accountable.
Exactly. And there's always that wonderful spite factor. You're going to get fucked up. Okay, fine. I'll show you. I will go do this. I will listen to rock and roll, and I will come back sober. Fuck off.
Right. Now that you walk back to the house and just breathe on everyone.
Right.
Oh, it
I'm
was
back.
great. I think I would have if it would have been me, Ed. I would have done that and just like, come here, let me lick you. You
Hmm.
know.
Right. Hold out your hand. I'll give you a sample.
Right. But I mean, but seriously, I mean, you did all the right things, and
Well,
again, the accountability is what's important with
right.
that stuff. So, and that goes with the holidays too. And I think that the main
Hmm.
point in I think what you and I have talked about, and at least the way that I think you and I feel with that, is that once again, it is the big book that talks about if we're spiritually fit, we can go and do whatever, right?
Anywhere.
Right.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so I mean, so that's one thing,
If we're spiritually fit, we have a reason to be there.
right?
Right. Yeah, I can be spiritually fit. I'm not going to go sit in a bar just because I fucking can.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and that is the key, being spiritually fit. I think hugely enough being accountable and telling people what you're doing. But you're
Yeah,
right. I mean,
absolutely.
there's a purpose, and I think that I don't know if it was one of our sponsors or if we were just told in general, go for the event, not the party.
Right. Hmm.
So, but yeah. But okay, so I'm looking at timing here. We can take our little 60-second break, but remember, you have to do your little lead in though.
No, Christ, I don't even know. Dude, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here.
Okay, wait. Okay, wait. Everyone.
Oh, the lead into it. All right. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you got it now.
yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
whisper it so nobody else heard us.
All right. We'll be back in one moment after a word from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober, Not Mature. Have you visited our website lately? If not, it's www.SoberNotMature.com. While you're there, you can listen to all of our episodes or find links to where our episodes can be played, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and others. We do have a blog page for some of the writings that we've done. We've got a web store where you can take a look at all of our merchandise, buy yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie, maybe even a mug. You can see our review section where you can actually leave a review or see what people have been saying about us. You can check out our sponsor page. We've got a contact page. Basically, any opportunities that we have to contact or interact with us are on our website. Also, you can buy us a coffee, or you can just find other ways to support the podcast. Visit us today at www.SoberNotMature.com. All right, welcome back. You're just so funny. You're like, I don't even know what I'm doing here.
I don't.
What I was going to do is just say, hey, Mike, you're supposed to say, now a word from our sponsor.
Okay.
Okay, see, that's what I was going to say. Nobody heard it anyhow, so thank you. Thank you for not listening to that
there
part.
you go. Right.
But yeah, so anything else with the holidays? Because I think, the main points is that, and I know we're being kind of brief about this, but we've told longer stories about it, but all the stories in the world don't take away from the fact of, once again, accountability, making sure you're there for the event, not the party, being accountable.
Right.
If you're in a program that has a sponsor, talk to your sponsor. If you can, both of our sponsors always recommended taking somebody sober with us, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, if you can.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, look, yes, it's a holiday and it's what it is, but all this, as an atheist, all this stuff's made up. And if you really don't feel like you need to be there, don't be there, man. Maybe wait till next year. Not everybody's family is as wonderful as ours.
Right.
Go spend time with your kid or whatever, but you got an ex involved, you got or someone that you're trying to deal with a relationship early in sobriety and maybe getting it back together, maybe not, maybe whatever. Give yourself some time, man. It's just another day of the week, and if you don't really have to be there, don't. It's okay.
Right.
Give yourself that option of, you know what? Yeah, it would be nice, but next year would be even better because I'll be ready for it next year.
Right.
Yeah. Be honest with yourself, which is not always the easiest thing to do.
Oh yeah, especially at that time, and that's why I talked to my sponsor at that time because I didn't know. I'm like, and I wasn't the second company I worked for. I was a supervisor, and I happened to be there through two holidays. But they did their holiday party. It was like the afternoon of a day, and then a lot of times people went to another bar or whatever. And
the second location.
Yeah, and I just cut out after that. It was cool, but I didn't have a choice. I had to be there because I was a member of the leadership team, which anyhow I would have. I enjoyed those folks, I really did. But the whole point there is that. And even at the company that I worked for when I first moved back here, they did this huge banquet thing in May. I don't remember what we did around the holidays. I think it was just inside stuff where they brought in food to all locations and that. But then they did this banquet every year, like an appreciation banquet, and that was huge. That was nice at a hotel, really nice dinner, open bar, and the whole bit. And it was so funny, and I just remembered this. So, at that time being in the training department. And again, literally, I didn't know everyone in the organization, but I had dealings with almost every department, and specifically when it came down to the collection department and the other, like the first stage, early stage department, all the management I knew because I had to deal with everyone because with the training stuff.
Sure.
So, basically being there, it was kind of cool because I got to see everyone, meet some of the spouses of some of the people I trained and whatever. It was very cool. But I was at one of our locations after, the next week after we had the awards banquet, And I don't know, we're shooting the shit with one of the people, and she was talking about what a great time she had. It was one of the reps that I trained, and she's like, yeah, talking about that she drank too much or whatever. And I said, well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I said that's one of the reasons I don't drink. And she's like, you don't drink? And I said, no.
Mm.
And she's like, you were standing in the alcohol line though. And this other rep next to her, because we were talking, there's two of them there. She's like, you dumbass! It wasn't the alcohol line. You could go there to get a soda, you can get a drink, you can get a
Right.
glass of wine.
Right. The alcohol line.
But it's just, I just remember that. But yeah, she just started laughing. She's like, I don't know. She's like, that's why I stood in that line. I'm like, well, yeah.
Well, sure.
It's just so funny. I've never heard it that, but yeah, it was the alcohol line. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's all about being, accountable. But yeah, being honest with yourself. Which, yeah, I didn't know any better going in. So that's the other thing too. It's okay to walk up to somebody, somebody you trust, and just say, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Help me.
Oh, absolutely. That's huge.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We to this day, I don't have it all figured out.
Really? Oh, I thought you had it all.
Yeah. No, I got a lot of it figured out.
Okay. Well, hang on one more second here.
Uh-huh.
Note to self: Mike doesn't know everything. Damn it!
Nope.
Okay, so shit. Now it's in writing. You had me fooled all these years. I thought you were.
Nah, did I?
Just me being a dick again. All right, everyone.
Yep.
But the other thing too, that and to this day, and as of what is today? Oh, yeah, as of today, actually, it's 12 years and 7 months for me. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I never keep track of that. The only reason I ever notice it is because my sobriety counter evens out in these days.
Right.
And I look at my sobriety counter every day. So however
Mm-hmm.
many months, it was even, not no point something after it.
Right.
But I never, and this is a 100% fact, I never go anywhere that I can't leave, ever.
Yep. Yeah.
Again, to this day,
Mm-hmm.
only time I go with somebody to a place, to an event like that, is the guy you hear me talking to right now. You're the
Right.
only other person. Even again, I'll go back to that YMCA thing that Kathy and I went to a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had no fear whatsoever being around my sister or in those circumstances. I
Sure.
knew it was going to be. It's a corporate banking thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, nah, I'll drive. And she was just like that.
Yeah.
Her exact answer was, I kind of figured you would, but I thought I'd ask.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, right back at you, man. I can't think of any time I've ever been somewhere where I couldn't leave on my own.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, you and I went to Lita Ford. We've gone to 1,000 places, but just the ones that were
Mm-hmm.
like events like that. We went up to Green Bay. We
Right.
went to Lita Ford. We've gone to other things like that. And then again, you and I never think about riding with you, thinking, well, what if this motherfucker gets
Right.
out of control? If you do,
Yeah.
I'm just leaving anyhow. So I don't give a fuck.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, like Chris's father's memorial
Oh yeah.
service, I mean, you rode with me. We ended up at a bar
Yes, we did.
for hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were sitting there, we were playing pool and having
Uh-huh.
a good time. I had a lot of fun.
Yes, we were. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, not an issue. Yeah. Was there any point where you were like, I'd really kind of like to leave, but I can't?
Yeah, I mean, it was just when we first, and I knew it was going to be a bar, which
Mm-hmm.
again I knew that going in, but it
Right.
was the only time that it felt a little weird is when when we first walked in, and I'm like, okay, this is like
Mm-hmm.
this little hometown bar, and the only reason to be here is
Right.
to drink. And that was
Mm-hmm.
the first feeling that kind of came over me when I walked in there.
Right.
But then it was cool. We all sat at the same table. Then somebody's like, "You want to play pool?"
Mm-hmm.
And so we're all playing pool. And yeah, it's just it wasn't, again. It's an odd circumstance because it was a memorial service, for
Right.
Chris's dad. But it was
Mm-hmm.
fine. We had a nice time. We really did. So
We did. Yes, we can do that today.
right, exactly.
It's amazing.
So what else? I mean, any other little, I don't know, little pointers, tidbits? I don't know what you want to call them. Anything else when it comes to the holidays? Any other? I don't know. Anything around the holidays?
Again, I think we've established this, but keep your expectations low, for yourself and for others. Um, things that it is what it is, man. I said it before, I'll say it again. It's another day on the calendar.
Right.
You get together with people that you care about, do something nice for. Like I end these episodes all the time. Do something. That was one of the big ones that was drilled into us. When you go do these things, go in there and wash the dishes. Don't offer to wash the dishes. Go in there and wash the damn dishes after the meal. Thanksgiving. We don't when we're at Kathy's because we don't. But but yeah, go in there and make it better for the people around you. That's the only reason you should be anywhere doing anything.
Right.
Yep. Practice those principles in all of your affairs.
Right. Well, and that's the other
Yep.
thing too, that I mean, Kathy has far more flexibility right now, with
Mm-hmm.
her job than I do for the most part. There's
Well.
things in places she has to be in meetings, and it's not like she has no accountability whatsoever to her job, but
Mm-hmm.
it's easier for her to go do this or go do that, especially with all this shit going on. Well, even when
Right.
mom was alive, taking her appointments and things
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Sure.
it would have been tough, for me based on my job situation to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
when all this stuff happened, and I told Kathy, I said, we will, or I didn't say we will, I said I will share these things with you. If
Mm-hmm.
like going to the funeral home, they opened
Right.
it at 8 a.m. and for the whole well, again, death certificate's wrong, so you have to get them exchanged for free because the courts will do it for free, but you have to give them,
Mm-hmm.
the it's like, turning in a pop bottle. You got
Right.
to get your refund. You got to turn in your death certificates to get the new one.
Uh-huh.
And to begin with on the phone, and again, I'll say this: that funeral home, which is Reese Funeral Home in Hobart, they're wonderful people. Somebody made a mistake. I'm not mad at them. I was mad at the circumstance
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, we're trying to get there. There's things that we have to get done. Like something simple is we can't get the estate account opened to actually start
Mm-hmm.
paying mom's bills.
Right.
We need this shit.
Yeah. Right.
But so I ended up telling Kathy what the deal was, and I said, I said I can go out there. They open at 8 a.m. I'll plan on being there first thing in the morning. Worst case,
Mm-hmm.
it's 20 minutes away. I'll be back. Technically, I'll be logging on an hour later than I normally do. But I said I'll be on at like 8:30 or 8:45. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Are you sure I can do it?" I'm like, "No, you're running around all over the fucking place for everything else. I'll do this."
Right.
So I
Yeah.
just told him, told work, I'm like, "This is what I have to do. This is it."
Mm-hmm.
So, but things like that. I mean, again, it's easier when, and I'm not doing it because I'm trying to be nice. Although I am,
No.
I could probably sit back and be just like, whatever, man. You got
Yeah. Yeah.
you got shit to do. You got more flexibility than me. Go get this shit done, man. It just wouldn't.
Right.
But that's not who we are. Well, it's not who I want to be today. That's a better way to
Right.
put it.
Exactly. Yeah. So act as if
Right.
you really don't want to go fucking do it, but do it anyway.
Well, and true, but the only other
Yeah.
bonus thing is that if I get to either start work a little bit late or leave work a little bit
Mm.
early these days, it's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful because I mean, that's the other part of it. I don't, I'm not real, and it's beating a dead horse on that. Everyone's heard enough about my job. Yeah, yeah, Bill, you hate your job. I
Mm-hmm.
get it.
Right.
But yeah, so we're all good. You think on the holidays, and we got time. We got time with Christmas. We can recap some of this stuff at another point.
Oh,
But
sure. Sure.
so nothing else out of the ordinary with that.
No, no. I think we've covered the basics. You can always reach out to us on the old Instagram, on the gram, or you can reach out to him because I don't get on it. But
Right,
I created that account and I don't think I've been on it in a month.
right. Well, and the thing of it is, it was just kind of funny because of course I told everyone, I'm like, Mike's on now, go friend him, and you're like, oh my god, like please don't. And then a ton of people did, and then everyone's making comments and are like, he doesn't seem like he wants to be on here. They're like, I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's Mike's deal. I said I think you guys would have picked up on that by now. So But yeah, so that's yeah, cool. Yeah, if anyone has any other, certainly any questions about holiday stuff, I mean, we consider it to be kind of basic, and we kept it basic that, especially that first year. But we didn't do it on our own, and I think that's the main point. So
Yeah. And you know what? Guess what? We still keep it pretty basic, and we still don't do it on our
right,
own. Imagine that.
and we still do the same things
Mm-hmm.
12 and a half years later. So
Yep.
it must work, right?
Dude, so far.
Wait, I can do this again. Note to self: keep doing. All right. So one of the and this question kind of goes along the lines of what we were talking about, but so the saying that and I know you've heard it before, where we heard it more in the AA type of thing, but your disease is out in the parking lot doing push-ups. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's number one, but because that kind of goes along the lines of what we're talking about, that we got to do the things we do every day, because if not, then the disease is out there ready to kick our ass. But
Right.
so, what's your feeling on that saying, number one? But also, what other goofy or cheesy sayings do you remember, like early on, that have stuck with you?
Um, well, okay. First things first. Big Book says there is no cure for alcoholism, so there is no cure. Yeah, my disease. I don't know. The farther along I get in this thing, yes, it's always there. Yes, I will always have it. I don't know if the motherfucker's doing push-ups anymore. You know.
Well, if it's old and lazy like you, it's probably not. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and you know what? And I'm not feeding it,
right,
so it's. I think it's losing strength. Now that being said, a couple of days ago, I had a wonderful night of dreams. So it's always there. I had a drinking dream that you were in. Um,
is this payback for my dream about you?
probably subconsciously, whatever. Um, but yeah, and then I woke up from that one and went whatever, about halfway through the night, and then I went back to sleep, and then I had a heroin dream, which I haven't had one of those in a long, long time. So I woke up from that, and I was like, well, I'm well rested. Let's go to work. And I did. But yeah, yes, it's always there. It always will be there. But quite frankly, it is not anywhere near as strong as it used to be. And but that doesn't mean I can slack off on what I have to
Right.
do. Because I can very easily, start feeding that fucker again. And I'm not talking about the substances. I'm talking about the bad behaviors and the bad thinking, and,
Right.
and I can do that really quickly. And then he will start getting stronger. Then he will start doing push-ups, and then he'll beat my ass.
Well, and that's one of the things that we've been told from the start, is that a relapse usually starts. First of all, it's usually mental. Everything that we've heard,
Right.
and it starts long
Yep.
before you pick up that first one, that first drink, snort,
Yep.
smoke, needle,
Yep.
shot, whatever you want to call it. But a lot
Uh-huh.
of it is it's mental. But that's what we've been taught, right? That it's
Yep.
alcohol, heroin, coke, whatever it is but a symptom. It's always something else, and
Mm-hmm.
we let our minds
Yep.
get all fucked up again, and we're going to bring back the substance. At least that's what we've been told, right?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I start thinking wrong, and I start getting resentful about shit, and then I know how to cure all that,
Right.
and I will.
So what do you think? I guess along those same lines, and I mean, we can get on to the other cheesy sayings in a minute, but I had another thought that
Oh.
reminded me of a story from years ago. But do you think that your tolerance would be mentally, since we're talking about a mind thing, do you think your
Mm-hmm.
tolerance mentally would be the same as it was when you quit drinking?
Um, no.
Okay.
I mean, no, no. I'll wreck myself fast if I start back up. I know that. I won't be able to handle
Well,
shit.
and that's what
Yeah.
I meant. So your mind is going to remember what you used to, again, drink, snort, shoot, whatever it is. So mentally,
Right.
your mind is saying, this is what I used to do, but your body, that's how so many people die from when they relapse,
Oh
is
yeah.
because of that, right?
Well, especially the drugs, because that is different. But again, I'm gonna if I go, man, I'm gonna get a handle of vodka, and I'm probably gonna put most of it down that first fucking
Right,
time. Yeah, I'm not gonna go get a couple of beers.
right.
I'm not. So I'm gonna hurt myself real fast. Plus, I'm fucking old, man. My God, I went out. I was in the yard today working for about 3 hours, and my back's killing me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were carrying the file cabinets last weekend and a couple of other things. The same deal. I'm just like, God, my fucking shoulder, my back. I'm like, fuck me.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
the thing that made me think about this, so and I know I told you before that I never consciously tried to quit. Yes, I had my moment in the
Mm-hmm.
mirror thinking I'm not that bad, but I never
Mm-hmm.
said that, okay, I'm going to quit drinking for a period of time, trying to give it up, blah blah blah. But
Uh
when
huh.
Kimmy's mom and I lived with my dad for that almost a
Mm-hmm.
year, neither one of us drank while we lived there because he didn't drink. It was just like he didn't drink, we didn't
Right.
drink, blah blah blah. So I had that
Mm-hmm.
period of not drinking, and that was very early on. I was 19 years old. No,
Right.
18,
Yeah.
19 years old, something like that. But
Right.
that was me
Right.
coming right out of college, drinking fucking hard. And
Mm-hmm.
then I remember because we went out there in May, I think in May. So we would have been out there in Christmas. So you figure whatever it was at that point. So 7 months, that I hadn't
Mm-hmm.
drank anything. We
Right.
came back to Wisconsin from Ohio, and we're staying
Mm-hmm.
with my in-laws. Got to see Mom and Larry the whole bit. Kimmy was just a baby, and then we went and met up with all of our friends, and went to a
Right.
house party because they're like, oh, we're back in town. It was great. We had a good time seeing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the first time that I drank since like I left college, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I to the point where first of all, Pam had to drive home. I was sicker than shit.
Sure.
And thinking
Mm-hmm.
back now, I did. I drank like I did back in May, but without drinking now for 7 months, and I about
Right.
killed myself. And
Uh-huh.
I was fucking 19 years old, or 18 years old, and I did that.
Yeah.
So that's what made me think of that with the again that mental tolerance where your mind's like I can have one more and I can, people start
Mm-hmm.
shooting up or smoking or doing whatever it is, and whether it's an
Yep.
overdose or out drinking themselves to death, whatever the deal is. So, but yeah, that was kind of like an afterthought, but that's a good point. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone say that. I've heard the thing about the whole which wolf do you want to be? It's depending on which one you
Mm-hmm.
feed, which is kind of the concept of
Right.
what you were just talking about. But I've never heard.
Right.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about that. Again, you're the disease not feeding it, that it's getting weaker, and I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't believe I've thought of it before just now either.
All right, so kids, this was just like complete. We just amazed ourselves.
Yep.
We both had light bulb moments, and actually, I think something kind of poignant came out of his mouth. So that's even better.
Man.
You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I did some good today.
I did something.
So what about any other? Are there any other cheesy sayings? That one used to. When I first time I heard that, I thought it was the stupidest thing on earth. The whole out in the parking lot doing
Hmm.
push-ups thing,
Right.
just thought it was fucking stupid. But any other sayings like that you thought were like super cheesy, or you just rolled your eyes at, or maybe even still do?
Right. Well, the one that comes to mind, and this was back when I was like about 30 and I first got into the rooms, whatever, first time I went to rehab. Um, I remember they told me that I needed to change everything but my name,
Right.
which makes sense because you do. You got to fucking change everything. But what they didn't tell me, and what I figured out this time, is yes, I need to change everything, but I have my entire life to do it.
Right.
The whole, yeah, I mean, was taught to us and wasn't taught to me before was this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. This takes time and it takes forever, you know. We never finish the program. When we graduate, this program is when we die
Right.
sober. So yeah, I got to change everything, and I certainly haven't, and but I'm still working on it. So yes, I have to change everything but my name, but I have my entire life to do
Right.
it.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point because I know when we were talking about doing our fourth and fifth, when my
Mm-hmm.
sponsor had said that to me, that when I was asking him if I was ready, and he's like, oh, you're 7 months into a lifelong journey. This is, he said the same
Mm-hmm.
thing basically. It's not a race,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
which is kind of cool because it takes a lot of that. I think that a lot of that pressure, off of
Mm-hmm.
especially somebody who's newly sober, thinking. I mean, first of all, if again, if anyone's new out there, you don't. What Mike just said is you do not have to take care of all your shit, and it's not recommended.
No. No.
Don't try to take all care of all your shit in the first 6 months or even in the first year, maybe even 2 or 3.
Right.
Let this shit
Yeah.
come to you, man.
Yeah. Exactly. Plus you
Right,
can't. There's no way in hell I'm going to fix 40 years of bad behavior in 6 months.
right,
It's just not. Yeah. So this is a process. This takes time. Yeah, and I'm grateful for that because there's no way in hell I can do it all. Yeah, clearly in 12 and a half years I can't do it all.
Wait a second. You're not perfect yet?
No.
Wait, yeah, let's just ask Chris. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know. It's just it is. It's and I think I told you this, that in one of the sayings that just speaking of sayings, progress,
Mm-hmm.
not perfection, right?
Right.
Which the right there, they're giving us the opportunity to take our time. But I think I told you
Mm-hmm.
this, and I think I said it on here, was I thought that I looked at that to begin with as an out. is
Well, yeah, oh,
is a
absolutely.
fucking excuse. I'm like, oh, so I don't have to I don't have to do all this
Mm-hmm.
stuff right. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, I fall short. No, asshole. The important part there is
Right.
progress. You have to keep moving forward. Just don't beat yourself up that you're not perfect doing
Yeah, I know,
it.
but see, little things like that can get confusing when
Oh
we're
yeah.
young and
Well,
stupid in this program.
and we're looking for excuses in easier, softer way and ways to cheat the system. And oh yeah, because that's what we
Right.
do.
Yeah, and considering that we've lived like you said, 40 some years up to that point,
Yeah.
of our lives that
Mm-hmm.
way. So but yeah, so that was the other one, the progress, not perfection. But not cheesy one. I have always liked that one, but well, once I
Mm-hmm.
once I stopped using it for evil. But
Yeah. Exactly.
so what? Any other ones that off the top of your head, again, just sayings like that either maybe even let's look at it the other way, that like really stuck with you, or just that you were just like again roll your eyes at.
Oof, all of them. And of course, my favorite one, is good old Jim Benning, man. I just don't want to hurt anybody
Right.
anymore. Tell me what to do so I don't do that. Yeah, that's the one I try to live
Right.
by. Yeah.
Well, and that is, and he used to say it, and Marty used to say it. Just keep doing the next right thing, and
Mm-hmm. Be a
yeah,
good boy.
and oh, the one
Yep.
that used to kind of piss me off, and I tested all the time was
Mm.
first thought wrong, because I'm like, because
Oh
then
yeah.
I mean usually that's true, and
Uh
because
huh.
that's one of the reasons that the where the 10 step helps, and the fact of us learning a little, at least a little bit of self control, so the thought is just beating the
Mm-hmm.
shit out of our heads, but it's not running itself out of our mouths, because my first
Right.
thought is you motherfucker, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, take a breath, take a breath.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
every once in a while, whatever we thought to begin with, it is the correct thought. But what I'll do, and still to this day, is I'll run it by somebody. And like I said, there's all recovery things. You and I always talk about. And when it comes to sometimes life things or financial things or stuff like that, I'll run by
Mm-hmm.
Kathy. But I mean the
Right.
that in and of itself, and just kind of having that come out of my mouth right now. And I'm hugely grateful. I'm fortunate, really fortunate to
Mm-hmm.
have basically two people like you guys in my life that I can go to,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have to just because. not that you wouldn't help me make a decent financial decision, because you have, and
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
stopped me from, wanting to have these grandiose thoughts and moving into places that we can't afford and whatever. But
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, Kathy, a lot of times it's just there's certain things that she's just super level-headed about, and I trust, that she'll make
Hmm.
that right decision or help me make that. But how? I mean,
Right.
that's huge to have that, because again, not everyone else does. I bitch about a lot of things, man, but having those two, two areas like that to go. I mean, there's a lot of people I can go to and ask for help, but
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing is knowing that we don't
Mhm.
know, knowing that we don't have all the answers, knowing that there are different opinions out there that may help
Right,
us. I mean, because it's the world today. I mean, think about it. You try to help somebody, you try to point somebody in the right direction, and they get pissed at you.
right,
You're trying to help them, and they're like, "Fuck you, man! Don't tell me what to
right.
do." All right, fine. Go beat your head against that wall. I don't give a fuck.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. Knowing that we don't know, and that's certainly something I
Mm-hmm.
I 100% learned, in this
Mm.
whole recovery thing, because well, and again, we know, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Prior to that, yeah, we had all the answers. We knew everything. We knew what was best
Hmm.
for us.
Yep. And
Yeah, this bottle of whiskey is what's best for me.
yeah, and I never ask
Mm-hmm.
for advice on shit. I just do it. It's like that meme that's out there. It's
Right.
like, oh, I need your help. Ah, fuck it. I already did the thing. And
Right.
that was usually that was my life. Ah, fuck it. I already did the thing. Which
Yep.
now and again, it's that patience, which I still don't have, but I practice it. I have
Mm.
zero fucking
Mm-hmm.
patience for anything, but I
Right.
do practice it, and I hate it. I
Yeah.
fucking hate it.
Right. Work that
I
muscle,
know.
man. Yeah. I've got to do it too.
Yeah, it is. And that's one of the most, to me, to this day, patience. Patience is one of the, not even one of, it's the number one thing that I struggle with, and it's a daily thing, man. I need to. It's the people,
Mm-hmm.
places, and things. And I know I've said this before, but it's in my prayer. So twice a day, I literally say, these are the words
Mm-hmm.
I say: people, places, and things. You can't control
Mm-hmm.
them.
Right.
And again, I'm 54 years old. I've been sober for 12 and
Mm-hmm.
a half years, and I have to. It's not
Yep.
even that I just do it every day. I have to tell myself that twice
Uh-huh.
a day.
Yep. Remind myself of the way things really
Right.
are.
And again, I say I have to tell myself twice a day. It doesn't mean throughout the day I also don't have to say it, but
Mm.
though it has to happen at least at least twice a day. I got to
Right.
bookend. I have to bookend my day with those at least at an absolute
Uh-huh.
minimum. So, but yeah, but and I've got a whole boatload of things on here, but I'm kind of looking at timing, and the more I'm thinking about it is, you want to save a little bit extra time for next week, just in case, because we're at like an
Yeah.
hour four right now, and if we've got to record that little thing next week, plus with the normal episode, that'll take up the rest of the time. So, I mean, it's up to you,
Right.
unless you got other things on your mind.
No, I don't think so, man. I've purged myself pretty good this week. Once again.
Okay, so do I? Well, fuck it, Mike. Anything else on your mind?
Not a goddamn thing.
my 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 podcast night would not be the same without hearing that. So I had to hear that at least. So, all right, brother. It is your time to close us out in whatever fashion you would like.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be good to each other, be kind to each other. Take a minute out of your day and find something to be grateful for, because you know what? It was pounded into our heads. Grateful drunks don't drink. And as always, please, 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 fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying, "You can't fuck off past here." Climb over the gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.
And obviously, you have that like on the ready now, which is awesome. So it
I
just
do.
that sounds so natural for you now, and I love it. I know Kathy loves it too. She gets a kick. She gets a kick out of the fact that we made that. That you have made that part of our podcast ending every time. So
I take gifts wherever I can get them, and that was a wonderful
yeah,
one.
it was
with a big bow on
absolutely.
it.
So not only will I talk to you soon, but I'm going to see you. Are you coming through on Thursday? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I just didn't know what. Yeah, I suppose you got to work on Wednesday. That's cool. So yeah, whenever. Obviously, we'll be here, and yeah. Until then, I will obviously. Maybe I'll talk to you beforehand, but if not, love you, brother.
Yeah. Love you
All right,
too.
bye.
Bye.
As always, thank you for listening to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. To access all of our content and interact with us, please visit our website, SoberNotMature.com. Thank you again for listening, and we will talk to you soon.